Well, he looks like the tattooed tough guy, a wild punk rocker who lives on the edge. But that's a long way off the mark for Good Charlotte frontman and The Voice star Joel Madden. We sat down for a very revealing chat.
I've been exposed in a lot of ways, but not in this way.
I shouldn't be sitting here. I should have never made it out of that town.
Can I have a toothpick?
Baby, absolutely. I thought you'd never ask.
The best thing that's ever happened to me is my wife and my kids. Can't help it, your wife's calling. She wanted you to bring home some milk and eggs, man.
Have you driven one of these around here before?
I have.
Okay.
Now we're getting therapy right here, me and you. We should get a couch.
Joel, good to talk with you. What did you expect when you signed on to do The Voice?
I just thought it looked like a good time. And I was a fan of all the other people they got to be coaches. That'll be fun, why not? As long as I can just come on and be me, then I think I can do a good job. And so they were like, totally. And every step of the way, the producers of the show have been really cool just about letting me be me.
You've, I believe, loved Australia so much you're talking about sort of relocating here next year.
My wife and me, we're hoping to, well, actually, we're not hoping. We're planning on bringing our kids here and for the next season being here for, like a good 3 or 4 months and settling down and actually getting to have a little bit of a life outside of America, which is kind of, it's fun for us.
Joel and wife Nicole Ritchie have 2 kids, 4-year-old daughter Harlow and 2-year-old son Sparrow, whose granddad is reportedly not so keen on a move down under. Your father-in-law, Nicole's dad, Lionel Richie, has said he does not want you to do this thing because...
Yeah, he's so dramatic though. He doesn't care. If we're here for a long period of time, he'll come. I know he'll come and visit. He's like the babysitter. I mean, the kids are over his house 3 times a week. He misses us when we're gone, but he knows, Lionel knows that we're doing what we have to do and that this is all part of what we do.
Because he loves you. You don't want to be falling out with your father-in-law.
No. Yeah, like, I'm very lucky to have Lionel's blessing. Nicole gets along really well with my family, and I get along great with her family. I'm really lucky to have that. I know it sounds cliche, but I wouldn't be, not only where I'm at today, but just the person that I am, period, in the world, without my family.
That's just crazy talk.
Benji is Joel's twin brother and bandmate.
Not always swapping identities to play tricks on people. You can always trust me when I tell you I'm Joel.
Benji.
I meant Benji.
And Madden's teenage years got pretty tough after their father walked out one Christmas Eve.
I can't say we grew up with nothing because at the beginning of my life, the first 9 years of my life, when my parents were together, my dad worked really hard to provide for us, and I respect how hard he worked. And they gave us everything we needed. We had food and clothing and a place to sleep. And then when my dad left, it was a really hard, my teenage years, probably like from 13 to 18 when I left home. That's when my eyes were kind of open to the way the world is.
Why weren't you there the nights that we cried? You broke my mother, saw you broke your chin for life. It's not okay, but we're alright.
You know how mean kids can be sometimes, and I still feel like that kid that's in high school. I feel like we all have our little alter ego, that little guy, whoever it is, the person that we were as a teenager, following us around, always tapping on our shoulder, going like, are you sure about that? Some people may be a little more confident, but mine is this short, chubby, untattooed, nerdy little dude who just is always a little afraid. Now we're getting therapy right here, me and you. We should get a couch, should lay down on it.
I wish we had one.
In the morning, Robin always woke up early in the kitchen.
Did you escape from that little nerdy fat guy? Did you escape from him into the world of music? Is that what music gave to you?
I think that's why we started our band. We wanted to belong to something, and we wanted to do something that we thought was cool, that we thought would make us cool. Get the girls, make money, and be rock stars. And that's what we wanted from the beginning. From where we started, we didn't know how to play or write or sing. We taught ourselves.
Like the time in school where
We read books, and from the time we started the band, we were 16, back in 1996. We didn't think about anything else, and we never have since then. I mean, my wife and my kids are the first thing that's come along that I've chosen over music at times. And my wife's been really good about, she's the best partner anyone could have doing what I do. She gets it. She understands that part of me that I still need to do. Me and my dad are pretty close now.
Are you?
Yeah, and I respect him a lot. When you don't judge it as your parents and you judge them as people that just were together and it didn't work out, it's a lot easier to understand, I think, than at a young age when I was angry. And I found a pretty good balance, I think.
You blow my mind, man. You got more soul than a sneaker shop.
That balance now includes coaching on The Voice.
I was saving that one for you because that's a good one.
Have you driven one of these around here before?
I have.
Okay, that's good. So I shouldn't be afraid?
I've been in all different kinds of carts. Well, I've stolen a few and taken them for joyrides, but I've always returned them.
I have to ask you a deeply personal question. It's okay, we're going to be friends.
Go deep.
Can I have a toothpick?
Go deep, baby. Absolutely. I thought you'd never ask. I get so excited when people want to share in my love of these toothpicks.
Thank you.
And there's a lot of joy you can find in that little stick. You have it in the wrong way.
Oh. Okay, thanks. When did you take up the toothpicks?
My dad was a toothpick guy, and so I just ended up being a toothpick guy. Everything I've ever done, people are like, can you take the toothpick out? On any interviews, morning shows, talk shows. On the first day of shooting, I didn't even realize that I had a toothpick in. I was like, oh, whoa. And I was like, I'm sorry, I didn't know. Because I thought, oh, you know, TV and the big TV show. And they were like, it's okay, just be you. And it stayed, and now it's become this thing that it's kind of like a security blanket, actually.
Your core audience or fan base was supposed to be teenagers and early 20s who were disaffected, still rebellious from, school. Now it's their mothers who have a crush on you.
I love it when moms like me, because it seems like growing up, every girl I ever dated, their mom didn't like me.
Why was that?
I think the way I look probably at first, especially nowadays, I feel like it's a little more acceptable, but I feel like at first glance, I probably seem like I'm wild or that I would, get into trouble or something. And I really am not that wild most of the time. I mean, I believe in honor and being decent, and I try to be that way, as the kind of man I think I should be now as a father and a husband. I think there's a certain way I try to be. Yeah, but I understand when people kind of make at first glance.
A sort of judgment call.
Yeah, they have to. That's what we do as people. You have to kind of, you're in this world alone, and you have your kids or your whatever, and you're just protecting yourself from the world, because it's a pretty mean place sometimes, and I've learned to do it too.
I have to say that, 10 years ago when you launched Good Charlotte, I watched you and Benji interviewed, and you always seemed to me to be too sweet to be, punk rebels.
The only way in any shape or form that I would say that I'm a rebel or that I go against the grain is that I've refused to let the world decide what I can be. Because where I come from and where we grew up, I shouldn't be sitting here. I should have never made it out of that town, and I should have never made it with my music. And I've continuously been judged, and it's just something I'm used to. I'm used to people writing me off. I expect it. I almost write myself off sometimes and then try to prove myself wrong. But I think we accept that that's the way the world is, but we have big dreams.
When you were younger, you partied pretty hard. Nicole partied pretty hard when she was younger. Have you talked about how you're going to negotiate those rebellious years when your kids are at that age?
Nicole is she's such a calm, as a mother, she brings all this, she grounds the family. She brings all the, the center she's the center. She kind of, everything, she has it all worked out. And I always know as long as she's there, everything's gonna be fine because she knows how to be a parent. I'm always the one that's like, what do I do, honey? So I always just kind of follow her lead. So I figured she'd work that one out. That's what I thought. But I'm pretty hard on my kids, you know. My thing is always about the manners and stuff. It's really about like kind of how they treat people and who they are and how they, you know. I really want my kids to be decent people in the world, you know.
Do you feel like you've come a long way in 10 or 12 years? I mean, look at you. You started out the angry guy. You were angry about your dad. You're angry about school. Now look at you. You love your dad. You understand. Everyone's human. You've got an incredible perspective now, I think, haven't you?
I just feel it's every day I just feel like, I mean, it all sounds cliche to me, but I've had a great life. I've gotten to see it all. I've gotten to have nothing, and I've gotten to have everything, you know, and everything in between. I've made good decisions. I've made bad decisions. I've done some things right. I've done lots of things wrong. The best thing that's ever happened to me is my wife and my kids. They've taught me the most. And everything else is just icing. Because I'd be happy tomorrow to move to a farm and never see anyone ever again as long as I have them. You know what I mean? That sounds actually like perfect to me. You know, as much as I love music and entertainment, I'm the happiest when I'm with them. But I know that I'll always need to write songs and make music. It's like a ride at an amusement park for me.
He's been incredibly successful, but I don't think he'll ever forget where he has come from. Lovely guy, John Madden. Still to come.